Welcome to Conversations with Masesi, where my guest and I talk everything life, family, love, community, and everything in between. Our guest today, Terry McBride, understands that the only way to do great work is to love what you do. He's dedicated his career to helping people navigate the ever-changing world of finance. He's a tax and financial planner, a long-time Toastmaster, former StarPhoenix columnist, and a member of the Claddagh Branch CCE. Help me welcome our guest, Terry, to the show. Welcome, Terry. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good to have you on our show today. With all that you do, I want us to zone into the tax part for this first segment. So I need you to let me know, how long have you been in the financial industry and what made you go into that industry?
I started in the financial services industry in about February 1979. So that's, 46 years ago?
Yeah. Wow.
And what made me get into the financial services area? Well, I was a marketing major from the College of Commerce at the university, and all my classmates were moving to Calgary, it seemed, to get because of the oil jobs, oil industry jobs, and I decided I wanted to stay at Saskatoon. My wife wanted to stay at Saskatoon, and there were opportunities to work for life insurance companies or for investment companies, and even though finance was not my major, it was a sales position, and a good way to start learning about personal finances. And so I took a position, commission sales, and worked at it, and enrolled in the courses for the Chartered Financial Planner designation, and felt that this was going to be a career for me. And I didn't know that I was one of the first 100 people that ever enrolled in the CFP courses, but
wow.
I graduated in 1982, and I was on my way to get started in financial planning.
On your way to greatness. So
No.
You have this trick about being long-term in what you love. You've been in Toastmasters 40 plus years.
41 years, yes.
41 years now. What sparked that desire?
Well, there was a point, I think it was in 1984, where I was at the point of making a change in careers from commission sales to working a more 9-to-5 type of job, and I decided that I wanted to learn more about estates, and I had a friend who said there was a position available as a trust officer, but I was looking for a job, and one of the people that I was hoping to get an interview with said, Toastmasters would help you. You're kind of reserved and not able to approach people easily. So he said, why don't you join Toastmasters? And
give you some skills.
So I found a Wednesday evening club, and it was people who were dressed casually, and there were lots. There were about 20 of them, and they were all having fun, energetic, and it was a good atmosphere. And I received a letter from the president, I think in the postal mail, that said, why don't you come? The
president of the club.
The club, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe said, why don't you come back and join us at our next meeting? And I did come back, and the next thing I knew, Myrna, the vice president of education, was asking me to give a speech, and so I got involved.
It's those personal touches, actually, that made you stay.
Oh yeah, no, I was involved and decided to join, and I got making speeches and I think I was elected Sergeant at Arms for the club for the next year, and I was part of the executive and eager to participate.
And 41 years later, do you still enjoy it?
Yes, I do. Going to the 2 meetings a week are among the highlights of my week.
Really? That is so interesting. So with all that, you have your financial planning going now. You are in Toastmasters. You start writing a column for StarPhoenix. How did that come about?
Well, partly because of Toastmasters, I felt I had some leadership skills developing. So I became president of the Canadian Association of Financial Planners, Saskatchewan chapter, and I began writing a newsletter to distribute amongst the members, and just so I felt I had good writing skills.
Yes.
And then the StarPhoenix mentioned that they were looking for a writer on personal finance in 1987, and I thought, well, I'll give that a try. And I wrote a few columns, and they were monthly at the start, and then they became weekly, and then I kept on writing for 30 years after that. And StarPhoenix was a good opportunity to share financial planning ideas with the general public. And I would cover subjects that you probably couldn't easily find information on, such as segregated funds or guaranteed income supplement. Unless you have a financial advisor, you don't always know how to get that information.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
So what are the misconceptions that you see around and the mistakes that people make when it comes to their taxes?
What mistakes do people do? I guess they file too soon. Most of the slips are out in mailboxes by mid-March, let's say, and they think, oh, that's it. I've got everything, and they file their tax return, and then early April, some more slips arrive, and so it's a mistake to file it too soon. You have to make sure you've got all the slips. And I guess another mistake I've seen repeatedly is somebody who owns mutual funds and gets a T3 slip in the mail and thinks that's all that I have to put on to the tax return to report the mutual fund. Yeah. Well, no, you have to also report any capital gains or losses from actually selling or switching or the mutual fund if it's non-registered. And so omitting income is not a good thing to do on your tax return. Nowadays, I guess you get T5008 slips. It's a little more, CRA is a little more diligent in reminding people that they have to report this stuff. But in the old days, it was more of an on the honor system, and people would forget about that.
So how do we simplify this whole process for everybody? You just wait. You don't have to rush. And how important it is to file your taxes, because some people are new to the country and they're thinking, I'm not working, I'm not earning any money. Is there a need for them to be filing?
Well, absolutely. Even if you're not taxable, get yourself into the system, get the social insurance number, get your residency established, because that entitles you to the carbon tax rebate, the GST credits, if you have children, the Canada Child Benefit, all kinds of benefits are available even if you have no income.
Yes.
Yeah, and you might as well take advantage of those credits. I have filed to catch people up that haven't filed for 10 years, and I do 10 years of tax returns, get them all caught up, and they get a check for $3,000 or $4,000 from all these credits that they've missed. And so it's important if you want to get these credits.
So, but now I'm hearing you saying, so even if I did not file 5 years ago, if I do now, it will still be backdated.
Yeah, you can go back 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, you can go back 10 years. That's key.
Oh, yeah.
If it's more than 10 years,
no, you can't.
Forget it.
Yeah. If you, I guess if you got your conscience bothers you and you owed tax 11 years ago, you should report that before the CRA finds out that you should have reported it. You won't be penalized.
Otherwise, Otherwise, somebody's knocking at your door. We always say we don't like to get financial advice because sometimes it's so intruding, right? People need to be truthful and tell you, this is where I went wrong, this is what I did. How do you make your clients comfortable in sharing even their darkest things to say, you know, this is where I went wrong with my taxes and I need help?
Well, it is hard for people to talk about money. Even couples have a tough time talking about money between themselves, or they have tough time talking to their adult children about their own money if they're doing any estate planning. So how do you help people to feel comfortable? I do talk about my own situation as an example. So I will share what I've done for planning as a way to help them open up. But generally, as long as they see I have credentials or they've been referred by a friend, then they're comfortable and they know. It's just like going to the doctor and you're telling them about your health issues. This is a specialist.
But this is
somebody who knows how to read the x-rays, knows how to read the tax returns the same way, and can find something useful. And I guess it doesn't all come out at the beginning, but and in fact, a financial planner should find out more about the person's personal goals and their ambitions. Like, do they want their children to get some post-secondary education? Do they want to go and retire at age 60, for example? Or like you find out what their goals are, and then you can start talking about the money to organize to be able to reach those goals and pay for those goals. Usually there's money involved in achieving goals, but the big goals in life. And so as long as the client knows that you have their goals and interests in mind, you're just not just trying to sell a product. It's trying to find a solution to a problem and reach a goal that they want, then I think they'll feel much more comfortable in talking about that.
That's so interesting. But we will come back for the second segment and finish our conversation. So for today, we are so thrilled to know that you, Terry, has been incredibly helpful. You've reminded us that by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail, and that financial planning is essential for a secure future. Thank you for joining us. That's a wrap for this segment. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on all our social media platforms to keep the conversations going. Thank you for joining us on Conversations. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you and yours. Shalom.